Hi everyone, welcome. Today we are going to make some veggie stromboli and we're going to make it in a big circular shape. My name is Lisa Bassini and I'm with the Baking Coach. So let's get started. So to make veggie stromboli, you need some simple ingredients. I make a veggie stromboli a lot when I have leftover vegetables, like I'll have leftover broccoli or maybe some artichokes from another recipe. Those are great to put in a veggie stromboli. Also roasted peppers or sun-dried tomatoes. You can get really creative with your veggie stromboli. Any kind of vegetable that you have, lying around from maybe someplace else. But don't do like green beans. The preferable ones is broccoli, spinach. Those are really the preferred types of vegetables. You could put in a little cauliflower if you wanted to too, but to spice it up. But anyway, so enough about vegetables. Let's get started. So we are going to need a bowl, and in this bowl I have 1 tablespoon of yeast granulars and 1 tablespoon of salt. So let me just put into that 1 1/4 cups of water. The water should be warm, not hot, but definitely warm. Warm like bathtub warm, okay? Not hot, uncomfortable. Try not to get any on your workstation just like I did. Anyhow, so you want to get these 2 ingredients wet with some water and stir it up just a little bit. And then allow it to become foamy, about 5 minutes. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here is a bowl. This is what it looks like now. And this is what it looks like when it's foamy. Okay, let me just push this to the side. Alrighty, and now you can see it's nice and foamy on top. We're going to add to this bowl 3 cups of flour. So I'm going to give it a scoop. Leveling it off. That is 1 cup of flour. I'm going to put in 3. 1, 2, and 3. I love using craft sticks. I keep them. I buy them. I get them a lot on Amazon. Not promoting anyone, but they work out really great because they're biodegradable and makes cleanup a lot easier. So now I'm going to add into here 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You need a full 5, but I'm only adding in 3 right now. 1 teaspoon of table salt. Gonna mix this up a little bit with my craft stick just to get it started. Once the craft stick becomes ineffective, or whatever you're stirring with, a spoon or a spatula, just stop using it and then work the dough with your hands. Should come together pretty quickly. It's a pretty easy and nice dough, and you want to just mix it. It could be a tiny bit sticky, but that's okay. Better to be sticky than dry. Give it a good knead. Just until all the flour is absorbed. Perfect. Then what you will do, okay, is take an additional 1/4 cup of flour. Place it on top of your dough. Coat it just in the flour. And now you're going to let it rest. I left my piece rest before for about 30 minutes. You can go 30, you can go 45 minutes, you can go up to an hour. But 30 minutes usually does the trick. So what I'm going to do now is I'll wrap this in plastic wrap, let it sit, and then it will double in size and look like this. This is one I just prepared before. So it goes from this size to this size. See the size difference? Okay, let me pop this off. I'm going to recycle this plastic wrap. It's amazing. You can the condensation that forms from the dough rising, so it's like breathing. Anyway, let me put this to the side. Now, we've got our dough, and this is about 30 minutes later. So we're gonna begin with this. I'm gonna grab another pair of gloves. I use gloves a lot so that I don't have to stop and wash my hands, but you don't need gloves at home unless you're recording a video. Anyway, okay, move that to the side. So I'm gonna take a little extra flour for rolling, and I'm gonna just put that on top of my dough. Just move this around a little and well coat my dough in some flour. I always coat my dough in a bowl with flour as opposed to just throwing flour all over the place. Okay, that's my dough. Now we're gonna roll this out to a large rectangle. Make some room. Okay. I like to push it with my hands first. The dough's gonna wanna roll back at you, but be persistent. Use a rolling pin. Let's make this dough a nice big rectangle. So now I'm gonna turn it and flip it. Roll it again. Excellent. And now I'm gonna go to the side. I wanna make this nice and big. I'm gonna make it look like a wreath for the holidays. Or you could divide this dough up into 4 sections and make smaller ones. Really up to you. You want to make mini strombolis and then don't do the wreath, it's totally fine. Nice and big. Okay. I love rolling on parchment paper. It makes things nice and easy. If you don't have parchment paper, you can roll on a covered just use plastic wrap on your counter. I've done that in the past. Okay, so here we have our piece of bread. Let's stuff it. Okay, got some mozzarella cheese here. You can use any kind of cheese that you like. Sometimes I blend it. I'll use some mozzarella and I'll also use some cheddar. Today it's all about the mozzarella. But if you do spinach, you could even crumble up some feta. And I'm putting some cheese just about 3/4 of the way of my dough. So nice thin layer of cheese, and I'm going to leave about 2 inches from the bottom and about 4 inches from the top. So 2 inches from the bottom and 4 inches from the top. And then once again, for the sides, you want to leave about 2 inches and 2 inches. I'm going to now add my veggies, and I've got some artichokes that I'm putting in today. Giving those a little squeeze. Delicious. And then I'm going to add some broccoli that I had left over. Make sure if your broccoli has water in it, give it a squeeze. This was some fresh broccoli that I had left over from another meal. I love to recycle food. It's like my favorite thing to do. Okay, once again, spread that out over your cheese. My mouth is watering. I'm getting hungry. Okay, now I'm going to take my gloves off because it'll make a mess. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the 2 inch at the bottom, and I'm going to roll that up, okay? Then I'm going to fold to the side. Oh, actually, since we're tubular, sorry, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just roll up this one side, okay, for the 2 inches. And now I'm going to just roll up my stromboli. I'm going to make this into a wreath, so it's a little bit different than the traditional. Okay. starts to leak out, just push the stuff back in. Okay, now, there we go. Got that nice big tube of goodness here. Where is my cooking tray? There we go. So we're gonna coat this a little bit in with some cooking spray, just so it doesn't, in case like some of the cheese oozes out. Then I'm going to take my large piece of stuffed bread and to pinch it together once it's in the pan. So I had those two open ends, and now I'm just working that dough together so it connects. And then you want to just kind of work on the shape so that it's even. I've infused these two pieces together to make a nice big ring. Okay. I'm going to bake this in the oven for at least 30 minutes. You can let it go a little longer. It needs to be a nice golden brown. I'm going to cut some slits to vent it so that some of the steam can come out of the center of the bread. Then I'm going to use some remaining olive oil that I have reserved here. And I'm going to brush that on top. You could even sprinkle some more cheese on top if you wanted, or a little garlic powder just to give it a pop, or Italian seasoning. This is so yummy, and you can serve any kind of favorite tomato sauce on the side. So yummy. Okay, a nice good coat of olive oil. You could pinch a little kosher salt on the top if you wanted. You know, the toppings are up to you. So you're gonna bake this in the oven at least 30 minutes. It's gonna puff up. You can let it get as golden as you like. If you wanna go another 10 minutes after that, totally fine with you. Get that nice, beautiful color. Then let it sit about 10-15 minutes. After you pull it out of the oven, cut it into slices and then serve it with a little bit of sauce on the side. Amazing. My name is Lisa Bassini, and I am from The Baking Coach. To find out more about The Baking Coach, you could reach us at bakingcoach.com. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed our Veggie Stromboli workshop. Bye-bye now.